Get out of my sight, you filthy, worthless scum! You're nothing but a stain on this place." The words exploded through the marble foyer of Mayor Richard Thompson's palatial Newport mansion, ricocheting off the ornate walls and sinking deep into the silence that followed. Linda Harris, the long-serving African-American housekeeper, froze mid-task. Her eyes, a mirror of both quiet dignity and unshed pain, met the mayor's venomous glare. For years, Richard had ruled not only his city, but also his household with an iron fist of prejudice and cruelty, using his position to marginalize those he deemed inferior. That morning, as the city of Newport, one of California's glittering jewels, woke under a brooding sky, Richard embarked on a day of issuing draconian policies that further alienated the minority communities he had long despised. His rhetoric was as harsh and calculated as his policies, designed to create a chasm between us and them. Yet even as he reveled in his self-assumed superiority, fate was crafting a far more humbling chapter. Later that afternoon, as dark clouds gathered and rain began to lash the streets, Richard slid into the driver's seat of his luxury sedan, his mind adrift in thoughts of power and entitlement. The rain-soaked roads of Newport turned treacherous under his careless drive. In a split second of fate, his car lost control, skidding violently, colliding head-on with a lamppost. The impact was catastrophic. Glass shattered like fragments of his past misdeeds. Metal crumpled, and in that cacophony of destruction, his heart faltered and ceased its beat. For 30 agonizing minutes, Richard lay motionless amid the wreckage, suspended between life and oblivion. In that surreal, liminal space, his soul embarked on an unexpected journey. He found himself drifting through a landscape not bound by the physical world, a realm where the consequences of his cruelty were laid bare. Shadows of those he had oppressed loomed large. Deserted neighborhoods with crumbling homes, the tear-stained faces of mothers who had lost everything, and the echo of anguished cries from children forced to live in the margins of society. Amid this spectral tribunal of his own making, one vision stood out with an almost blinding clarity. Linda Harris. No longer the subservient figure he had scorned, she now appeared transformed. A beacon of resilience and compassion, her presence demanding recognition of a humanity he had long denied. As his fading consciousness teetered on the brink of oblivion, the storm of his inner torment grew louder. In that dark hour, he recalled every harsh word, every cruel command he had issued. The faces of those he had demeaned haunted him relentlessly until, in a jarring moment of clarity, the sound of sirens and urgent shouts began to seep into his fevered vision. A group of paramedics, silhouetted against the torrential rain, struggled to reach him. But it was not their outstretched hands that stirred a flicker of hope in his soul. It was the determined stride of Linda Harris. Ignoring the depths of humiliation and pain she had endured at his hands, Linda rushed into the storm-racked chaos. With a strength that belied her gentle exterior, she knelt beside the overturned car and, without a word of reproach, carefully helped Richard climb into the ambulance. Her actions were not born of duty, but of a profound understanding of human fragility and the potential for redemption. At her side stood her son, Marcus Harris, a young man whose calm resolve and first aid expertise shone through in the direst of circumstances. With practiced precision, Marcus worked to stabilize Richard, his hands steady as if guided by a force greater than pride or prejudice. The ambulance raced through the rain-drenched streets, the wail of sirens merging with the pounding of the downpour. Inside the vehicle, the mayor's battered body fought against the encroaching darkness, while his mind was inundated with the searing images from his otherworldly journey. The horrifying realization of his own cruelty crashed over him like a tidal wave. Every venomous word he had spat, every policy designed to dehumanize, now returned as a sharp, inescapable reckoning. In the sterile, fluorescent-lit emergency room of Newport General Hospital, doctors and nurses worked feverishly to bring him back from the edge. Amid the beeping monitors and the controlled chaos of life-saving efforts, Richard's eyes fluttered open. What he saw was not the cold, clinical detachment of a hospital, but the gentle, unwavering gaze of Linda Harris. Her face, etched with years of hardship and quiet dignity, now shone with a compassionate intensity that he had never before witnessed. Beside her, Marcus's calm and confident presence reminded him of the strength found in unity and empathy. As days turned into weeks, Richard's physical wounds slowly healed, but it was the deeper, more painful healing of his soul that presented the true challenge. In a nationally broadcast press conference that shook Newport to its core, the once haughty mayor stood before the cameras, his voice trembling with remorse. "I have been a monster," he confessed, his eyes brimming with tears that spoke of regret and the weight of uncounted transgressions. "I used my power to wound and divide, and in doing so, I inflicted pain on those who deserved nothing but respect and dignity. I offer my deepest apologies to Linda, to Marcus, and to every individual I have ever demeaned." The shock of his admission resonated far beyond the confines of the conference room. For many, his public contrition was a turning point, a stark reminder that the seeds of hatred, once sown, could be uprooted by the unexpected grace of forgiveness. Linda and Marcus, embodying the very spirit of resilience and mercy, accepted his apology not with bitterness, but with a cautious hope for the future. Their willingness to forgive became a rallying cry for a community desperate for change. In the months that followed, Mayor Thompson led a sweeping transformation of Newport. He dismantled the oppressive policies he had once championed, redirecting city resources to rebuild the neighborhoods he had helped to marginalize. Educational programs were revamped, healthcare services expanded, and economic opportunities were injected into communities that had long been starved of support. The city's once deep-seated scars of racism and division began to fade, replaced by a cautious optimism fostered by the mayor's genuine commitment to change. Richard Thompson's journey from the precipice of death to a profound awakening stands as a testament to the possibility of redemption. His near-fatal accident and the unexpected mercy of those he had once scorned catalyzed a transformation that no one could have predicted. The legacy of that stormy night, where a single act of compassion, extended by a woman he had once so callously belittled, and the brave intervention of her son, served as a beacon of hope, reverberates through Newport to this day. It is a haunting reminder that the true measure of a person is not defined by the power they wield, but by their capacity to learn, to change, and ultimately, to love. In the quiet aftermath of scandal and sorrow, Newport began to heal. The memory of that fateful night remained, a powerful symbol of the enduring strength of forgiveness and the transformative power of compassion, even when it comes from the most unlikely of sources.